and good evening. Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Lee and you're watching News at 10. Our headlines for tonight. Post-flood recovery at 17 schools in Johor to be expedited. Continuous discussions to ensure adequate supply of essentials. Now, the government is making all efforts to expedite the post-flood works at 17 schools affected by floods in Johor so that the 2023-2024 academic school session scheduled for the 19th of March can commence as usual. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the government will coordinate with all related agencies in terms of clean-up, equipment and maintenance that could also involve a high cost.
NADMA dengan APM dan beberapa agensi lain bersama-sama dengan jawatankuasa bencana di peringkat negeri dan daerah. Ini akan dilakukan dengan sesegera yang mungkin. Yang penting pelajar-pelajar dan murid-murid boleh terus belajar walaupun mungkin tidak terlalu kondusif keadaannya.
Speaking after a working visit to the Southeast Johor Development Authority or KJORA in Bandar Penawa, he says students from flood-affected schools in Johor will be placed at temporary premises to ensure that their teaching and learning is not interrupted. Now, previously, Education Minister Fadlina Siddiq said there would be no postponement of the 2023-2024 academic school session in flood-hit states. She said if work to repair schools affected by the floods could not be carried out before the school session begins, students would be given the choice to attend classes via home-based teaching and learning. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi confirmed that former UMNO Youth Chief Datuk Dr. Ashraf Washdi Dusuki has been appointed as the new chairman of the Majlis Amanah Rakyat or MARA effective last Friday. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid, who is also the Minister of Rural and Regional Development, when met by reporters today, said the letter of appointment had been delivered to Datuk Dr. Ashraf Washdi at the Rural and Regional Development Ministry in Putrajaya.
Telah dilantik dan saya telah watikahkannya pada hari Jumaat yang lalu. Sebab itu bukan berita politik, maka ia adalah sahih.
Dato' Ashraf Washdi, who is also the Unity Government Secretariat Chief, previously held the position of Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Religious Affairs from the 29th of July 2015 until the 10th of May 2018. Previously, the position of MARA Chairman was held by Datuk Sri Aziza Mohamad Don since the 1st of May 2020, and she is a former Member of Parliament for Beaufort. The Ministry of Health has urged private general practitioners or GPs and contract doctors to participate in the initiative to extend operating hours at public health clinics to ensure its success. Now, as Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said, the support and cooperation would help the ministry to reduce the workload among health workers and provide the best service to patients.
Dia boleh ada pertambahan petugas juga. Kita juga menggalakkan juga contract workers, for example, contract doctors untuk bersama. Dan kita juga menggalakkan jika ada macam GPs daripada swasta untuk juga mengambil bahagian dalam program ini.
Dr. Zaliha, when met by reporters today, said the ministry has identified 52 health clinics nationwide that require extended hours, adding that this move can help reduce congestion in the hospital's emergency department. When asked about the possibility of adding health workers to make the initiative a success, Dr. Zaliha acknowledged the point, but for now, the ministry encouraged the participation of general practitioners and contract doctors. Previously, the Health Ministry was reported to have announced the extended hours at 52 health clinics nationwide to reduce overcrowding in the hospital's emergency department. Sultan of Kedah, Al-Aminul Karim Sultan Salihuddin Sultan Badlisha, has called for a harmonious relationship between the state and federal government. Sultan Salihuddin decreed on the importance of political stability for the benefit of the country and the state and the people through economic development projects and welfare programs. His Royal Highness believes that the harmonious relationship is important to ensure that the government's focus on resolving issues and the people's plights is not affected.
Negara dan negeri dan rakyat memerlukan kestabilan politik untuk memperolehi manfaat melalui pembangunan projek ekonomi dan program kesejahteraan rakyat yang dirancang. Tanpa gandingan yang harmoni di antara kedua-duanya, rakyat pasti akan menerima kesan elak berpolitik secara berlebihan dan sentiasa berusaha menjaga hubungan di antara satu sama lain.
Sultan Salihuddin said this when opening the first meeting of the 6th session of the 14th Kedah State Legislative Assembly at Wisma Darul Aman today. His Highness expressed his hope that a high level of professionalism between the state and federal governments could be maintained and discussions on development could be accelerated for mutual benefit. MRT Putrajaya Line Phase 2 expected to reduce traffic congestion. Continuous discussions are held between the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, or KPDN, and the related parties to ensure an adequate supply of daily essentials and raw materials, including chicken and eggs, during Ramadan and Aidilfitri celebrations.
Majoritinya mencukupi, cuma ada beberapa barangan seperti ayam dan telur yang saya dan KPDN sentiasa akan berbincang dengan Kementerian MAFS, Kementerian Pertanian bagi memastikan sepanjang Ramadan, bulan puasa dan hari raya, bekalan ayam dan telur akan dapat dipenuhi.
Speaking during a working visit to Kota Kinabalu today, Minister Datuk Sri Salahuddin Ayub said enforcement officers will be assigned to strategic locations such as public markets, farmers markets and shopping centres to monitor daily essentials ahead of the month of Ramadan. He said Sabah KPDN has appointed 170 DDR or dedicated district retailers and 89 DDW or dedicated district wholesalers throughout Sabah for the purpose of monitoring the supply of basic necessities in the state. The Penang South Islands or PSI project will only be approved if it meets the stringent requirements of the Environmental Impact Assessment Report or EIA. Now, Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Minister Nik Nazmi Ahmad said the decision by the Department of Environment, which rejected the report previously, proved that the project does not get special treatment, although it has the backing of the Pulau Pinang state government. Explaining further, Nik Nazmi said the process is being carried out in a complete and detailed manner, and the latest EIA report will be scrutinized by the Department of Environment in the next few months before finalizing if the PSI will be approved or not. He said any matters arising would be presented to the project movers and Pulau Pinang State Economic Planning Division.
Even if EIA is approved or not approved, it depends on the pihak yang meluluskan, penggerak projek, so which is the state authority. EIA does not bound in that sense. Okay, Itu pertama. Kedua, if it's so loose, kita tak akan tengok Penang South Island ni dah 3-4 kali revise. So what I'm saying is that the process is quite thorough, but even then, it's subject kepada penggerak projek, whether to jalankan projek itu atau tidak. We are looking at improving the EIA process so that it is much more efektif lah untuk mengawal.
He said this to reporters after officiating the Our Nature Carnival Alam Kita at the Batu Kawan Stadium today. The PSI project involves the development of 3 artificial islands with an area of 1,700 hectares in the waters of Permatang Damar Laut near Bayan Lepas. However, it received objections from the fishing community and non-government organizations claiming its implementation will damage the marine ecosystem. The Human Resources Ministry, or KSM, is confident that the cost of hiring Indonesian domestic workers will be reduced after several negotiations conducted this month. Its Minister V. Sivakumar said several negotiations and meetings have been held between representatives of the two countries, including the Malaysia-Indonesia Joint Working Group meeting, to resolve the issue. Sivakumar explained that the Indonesian Minister of Manpower will visit the country in the middle of this month and a meeting will be held to review this issue.
Menteri Ketenagakerjaan Indonesia juga akan melawat Malaysia pada pertengahan bulan Mac, dan satu lagi rundingan akan diadakan berkaitan dengan perkara yang sama. Dan kalau kita dapat kurangkan kos pada tahap yang lebih rendah, itu adalah memang menjadi aspirasi dan juga matlamat kerajaan, dan moga-moga kita dapat berbuat demikian dalam perjumpaan kita.
He said this to reporters after attending the ministry's Meet the Clients Day in Georgetown today. He noted that currently the cost of hiring Indonesian domestic workers is around 15,000 ringgit, and this stems from the cost borne in the source country. Now, he said the cost becomes high since the country has multi-level recruitment where the domestic workers are brought from one rural area and may go through several agencies before arriving in Malaysia. The Mass Rapid Transit or MRT Putrajaya line Phase 2, which will be operational on the 16th of March, is expected to reduce congestion, especially on roads and highways leading to Kuala Lumpur city centre. Now, lately, road users, especially those from Putrajaya and Seremban, were caught in massive traffic jams on the Maju Expressway and Sungai Besi Expressway, which had caused delay in getting to work or other destinations. Stretching a distance of 40.2 kilometres from Kampung Batu to Putrajaya Central, the Phase 2 line involves a number of hotspot locations or stations, including Sungai Besi, Chan Sao Lin and Ampang Park, which are the focus of the working population. The MRT Putrajaya line will also have interchange station services to connect to the Kelana Jaya Light Rail Transit or LRT, Kajang MRT and KL Monorail. Overall, the MRT Putrajaya line involves a 57.7-kilometre route from Kuasa Damansara to Putrajaya Central with 36 stations, including 9 underground stations and 49 train sets. MRT Corporation Chief Executive Officer Dato' Muhammad Zarif Hashim said all trains on the Putrajaya MRT line are controlled automatically without human involvement. He said the automation system is equipped with the latest technology that is fully controlled from the operations centre in Sungai Buloh. Kelantan police arrested a 27-year-old man and seized a black semi-automatic pistol together with 9 live bullets and drugs during a raid at a workshop in Taman Desa Rahmat in Kota Baru on Thursday. Kelantan Police Chief Dato' Muhammad Zaki Harun said the pistol was found after the suspect threw something into the bushes just before a police team detained him in connection with a drug offence at 9:48 p.m. According to Dato' Muhammad Zaki, a search at the location of the incident found several objects scattered on the grass and 3 packets containing 600 yaba pills. He said when police conducted further investigations in the area around the workshop, they found cannabis weighing 5.7 grams and 0.5 litres of ketum water.
Kita tak dapat pastikan dia pengedar. Cuma kita tangkap dan ada sejumlah dadah dengan ni. Mungkin dia menjadi orang tengah, mungkin dia small time pusher. Jadi itu akan dibuat siasatan lanjutlah. Dan saya percaya ada rangkaian lain lah.
Dato' Muhammad Zaki said a four-wheel drive vehicle and a motorcycle were also seized in the raid. He added the suspect was found to have 2 previous records under Section 30, subsection 3 of the Poisons Act 1952. He said the suspect would be remanded for 7 days starting the 10th of March. Johor Police confirmed receiving a report regarding death threats made against famous Indonesian rock band Raja this morning. Johor Police Chief Dato' Kamruzaman Mamat said the police began recording statements from the victims and were tracking down suspected individuals after receiving the report at about 5:30 a.m. The rock band lodged a report at Larkin Police Station before heading back to Indonesia. Dato' Kamruzaman, in a statement released today, said the investigation is being conducted under Section 14 of the Minor Offences Act 1955 and Section 506 of the Penal Code. Media outlets had reported earlier that the band had claimed to have received death threats after holding a concert at the Larkin Arena Indoor Stadium in Johor Bahru at around 11:15 p.m. yesterday. Now, the group's vocalist, Ian Kasela, said that a misunderstanding occurred between them and the organisers, leading to insults and death threats being hurled at them. Residents evacuated as record-breaking flood engulfs Australian town.
Kecemasan, boleh saya bantu?
Hello, there's been a motorcycle accident here. Maybe an elephant ran it over.
Sir, there is fire accident at the address number 5 Jalan Tembikar, Shah Alam.
PGO from FRT Shah Alam, there was no fire accident here. Over.
MERS 999. Use it wisely.
Welcome back. Almost 100 residents of an outback town were moved to higher ground after a record-breaking flood in Australia's Queensland state. Now, the flood triggered by heavy rains over the past week is worst in the remote Gulf country town of Bergtown, about 2,100 kilometres northwest of the state capital, Brisbane. Dan McKinley, Chief Executive of the local council responsible for Bergtown, said on Sunday that 97 residents have been airlifted out in the past 48 hours. The crisis comes after frequent flooding in Australia's east over the last 2 years due to a multi-year La Nina weather event, including once-in-a-century floods that hit remote areas in the neighbouring Northern Territory in January. The Bureau of Meteorology expect the weather event to continue this week, but said it was now in a receding phase. It said widespread rainfall has generally eased in the area, adding that the peak of the floodwaters could extend into Monday. Meanwhile, on the other side of the globe, Argentina's capital is being hit by a blistering late summer heat wave and setting record temperatures for March, while residents and tourists swelter in the sun. Buenos Aires province posted temperatures as high as 38.8 degrees Celsius on Saturday afternoon. Last week, the capital hit 38 degrees Celsius, breaking a record previously set in 1952. Now, residents and tourists in Buenos Aires tried to shield themselves from the sun and drink lots of water. Though many stayed inside, some went out to exercise despite the high temperatures. Argentina has been hit by drought since last year, which has battered its key soybean, corn and wheat crops. Last November, still in spring, the first of 9 heat waves was recorded compared to the usual 4 or 5 in summer. They will continue into autumn with soaring above average temperatures according to the National Meteorological Service. Everything Everywhere All at Once, a wacky sci-fi film featuring multiple universes and hot dog fingers, enters Sunday's Oscar ceremony as the highly unorthodox frontrunner for Best Picture. Academy bosses hope audiences will tune in to see whether the zany $100 million grossing hit can claim Hollywood's most coveted prize and draw a line under Will Smith's infamous slap at last year's gala. Everything Everywhere, which leads the overall nominations count at 11, follows a Chinese immigrant laundromat owner locked in battle with an interdimensional supervillain who happens to also be her own daughter. Michelle Yeoh's heroine Evelyn must harness the power of her alter egos living in parallel universes. The film has dominated nearly every awards show in Hollywood, with its charismatic, predominantly Asian stars becoming the feel-good story of the season. But although the quirky film is widely expected to dominate Oscars night, it could hit a stumbling block for the Best Picture. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences uses a special preferential voting system for that award, in which members rank films from best to worst. One Oscars voter who asked not to be identified said that some members, particularly among the Academy's older ranks, are more divided about Everything Everywhere All at Once. Coming up in sport, RTG project team to help end Malaysia's quest for Olympic gold. The Youth and Sports Ministry, KBS, today announced the formation of the Road to Gold or RTG project team aimed at coordinating the country's efforts in its quest to back Malaysia's first Olympic Games gold medal. The RTG committee is chaired by Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh and Olympic Council of Malaysia or OCM President Tan Sri Muhammad Nurza Zakaria, while Football Association of Malaysia FAM President Dato' Hamidin Muhammad Amin is the Chef de Mission or CDM for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Now, Hannah said that taking into account the structure and implementation method of the previous Olympic project and the Paris Olympics just a year away, the RTG committee will prepare a long-term framework covering Paris 2024 and Los Angeles 2028.
Program ini akan meliputi 2 cycle Olimpik. Okey, dia ada jangka masa pendek dan jangka masa panjang. Dan program ini juga kita libatkan bersama atlet-atlet yang pernah bersama kita mengharumkan nama negara. Okey, jadi ini adalah satu gabungan pentadbir dan atlet, dan ini adalah top-up committee untuk program podium sedia ada.
She said this in a press conference at the National Stadium in Bukit Jalil today. As for the Paralympics, Hannah said the gold medal program for the para-athletes will continue under the podium program at the National Sports Council level. United States-based Shireen Sampson Veloboy is on fire at the moment. The Perak-born athlete clocked 52.27 seconds en route to gold during the NCAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships at Virginia Beach on Saturday. Her timing had also bettered her own national record of 52.87 seconds, which she had set at the Louis Invitational Indoor Championships in Illinois last month. It is the 4th time she has broken the national indoor record. The time she clocked at Virginia Beach is even better than the national outdoor record of 52.56 seconds set by Rabia Abdul Salam at the 1993 Asian Championships in Manila. Shireen, who is reading recreation and Tourism at Winona State University, was thrilled with her performance. She will get a chance to do so when she competes at the Phnom Penh SEA Games on the 5th to the 17th of May. Outdoor races are only one lap long for the 400 metres event. The Shireen is the daughter of former national runners Samson Veloboy and Josephine Mary. Let's take a look at football. Terengganu FC registered their first victory in 4 matches in the Super League by edging 10-man PDRM 1-0 at the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium in Kuala Nerus on Saturday. PDRM were reduced to 10 men on the stroke of half-time after goalkeeper Muhammad Ramdan Abdul Hamid was given the marching orders for bringing down Terengganu FC striker Jordan Minta. The situation forced PDRM head coach Azmi Aziz to sacrifice upfield player Kyo Min Oo to bring in reserve goalkeeper Wilfred Jabun in the 45th minute. Though PDRM held on strongly despite playing with 10 men, Sador Kulmatov struck in the 76th minute to give his team the league's first win. With the win, Terengganu earned their first 3 points of the season and took the 6th spot in the standings. In the Bundesliga, champions Bayern Munich bounced back from a goal down and struck 4 times in a powerful first half against Augsburg, en route to a 5-3 victory in the Bavarian derby on Saturday to go 2 points clear at the top of the table. Just went in Dona. The Bavarians chasing a record-extending 11th straight league crown. Meanwhile, Schalke bounced back from a goal down to snatch a 2-2 draw against rivals Borussia Dortmund in their 100th Ruhr Valley derby and end their opponent's 8-league game winning run. Dortmund, who suffered a challenge for Dortmund, spectacularly rifling into the top corner for a renewed lead on the. And that's it from us this evening in our top story. Post-flood recovery at 17 schools in Johor to be expedited. Join us for updates at noon, at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching. Good night.